Hello, YouTube. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Tammy. If you know me from TikTok, where most people know me from, you may remember me from LinkedIn, although I'm permanently banned from that site. Why? Because I was talking about empathy when the October 7th incident happened. And so to talk about empathy about people other than the people who were attacked made me public enemy number one, and LinkedIn said, we got to get her off here. So if you're following me or you know me from LinkedIn, you know me from TikTok, or you know me from where else? Where else you may know me? Instagram. I doubt anybody knows me from Instagram because I post on there out of pure boredom. You may know me from Substack, and if you haven't subscribed to my Substack, I would encourage you to do that. I write some pretty good articles over there, and we have really good discussions. But if you're just meeting me for the first time here on YouTube, welcome. My name is Tammy. Now, on my channel, I'm going to talk about some of everything. All right. So I may be talking about trending topics. I may be talking about something that's really sitting with me. I'll always bring it back to how we engage with empathy for ourselves and each other. Speaking of empathy, as you can see, I wrote my book. It's called The Empathy Gap. It is black and white. I will encourage you to pick up the book. It's a good read. It's a quick read, but I promise you, you probably will highlight the whole book. That's what I've been told. It's that good. Second to the book that developed scorecards. It's called the Empathy Scorecard and Self-Empathy Scorecard. And it measures where you sit in the areas of empathy, how much empathy you actually do have. A lot of people say, oh, I'm an empathetic person. Well, the scorecard measures that for you. And the beauty of it is you can take it 4 times within a year. So you can measure if you've backslid in certain areas on your empathy scorecard, or if you have improved in certain areas on your empathy scorecard. It's worth the money. So is the book. Grab it. But I wanted to talk about something, now that I got all of that out of the way, I want to talk about something that has been weighing on me, and that's grief. I am a part of the Dead Mothers Club, and it is the loneliest club you'll ever be a part of because no one person in the club is having the same experience as the other. No one person in the club is crying every night, and that's whether their mom has been gone for 2 days or 20 years. And it's a lonely club, but it's such a full club. It's one of those clubs. You ever been out dancing, when we was out doing our thing, and you were in the club with all of these people, music playing, drinks being poured, and you felt utterly alone. It was as if none of the people were there. None of the music was playing because that's how alone you felt. That's what it feels like being a part of the Dead Mothers Club. And when people ask you, how are you? I know people are asking that just as a way of conversation, just a way of checking in, but I am not well, and I probably won't ever be well again until I leave this planet, and then I leave that hole for my children. People talk about having grief that they are anticipating and thinking about their mother dying, even though their mother's alive, and just having that anticipation of grief, and they live in that jail. When you have lost your mother, it is a permanent grief. It never leaves you. It never gets easier. Time does not heal a goddamn thing. That is a lie. And so if you're a part of the Dead Mothers Club where grief is always present with you, and you know how it feels to be without a mother, and there's a part of every parent that wishes they go before their children, right? Like you don't want to bury your children. The anticipation of the grief my children will feel when I'm no longer here compounds the grief I have with my mother no longer being here. And I don't know that I've heard anybody really talk about that. I don't think I've heard people really talk about, not only are you grieving the loss of your mom, but you anticipate the grief your children will feel when you're not here, and that's a grieving in itself. Now, I'm young enough, vital enough, doing all the things. When I say young, I'm not that young. I'll be 50 in 2 years. But I'm relatively young. I'm relatively active. I'm not waking up with aches and pains and joints, and I have no chronic diseases, no diabetes, no high blood pressure. I'm pretty healthy by most people's standard. And so I hope to be here for a long time. And even a long time doesn't mean that my children will ever be prepared to not having their mother. Because I lost my mother at 27. I'm now 48. At 27, I wasn't prepared. At 37, I wasn't prepared. At 47, I wasn't prepared. I don't think you ever really prepare for the loss of your mother. So those of us who are in the Dead Mothers Club, what has been the hardest thing that you experience in this club? And what experience you think is different? Do you believe you're having a different experience than most being in the club? I think for me, and I actually don't think this is just a me thing, I think I feel alone in one of the biggest clubs in the planet. And even though I'm in a club with people who've lost their mother, I still feel like they can't quite understand what the loss means. And that's the thing about grief, especially losing your mother. That grief is so deeply personal that I don't believe it ever really overlaps with anybody else's grief. So what has been the hardest thing for you? being a part of the Dead Mothers Club.